Hello, Penn State fans. This is Joe Smeltzer with Nittany Sports Now, and I'm here with class of 2026 defensive end Jackson Samuels Ford. He is an in-state prospect from Malvern Prep High School in Malvern, Pennsylvania. He has offers from schools such as Maryland, Michigan, Pitt, Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Rutgers, and most recently, Penn State, an offer he picked up this past weekend while he was in Happy Valley for the annual Lash Bash, which is the biggest recruiting weekend of the summer. Jackson, thanks for taking the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so your offer from Penn State, kind of take me through that whole process. Like, where were you when it happened? Which coach was the one to offer you, and how did you react when you found out you had been offered?
So it was a camp right after the Lash Bash. It's called a whiteout camp, and I actually couldn't stay for the whole camp. I had a family commitment, so I had to leave a little early. And Coach Barnes was like very understanding, and I did my 40 time. I did both attempts on the 40, both attempts on the broad. I did my triple broad. I did my 5-10-5 shuttle, and then after I got all my testing done, he took me aside and he just worked me out one on one. Just he had me run through some drills, pass destruction, get off, feet work, hand work, dip, like bend, all that type stuff, and then pulled me aside. Coach Franklin came down, said hi to my dad, said hi to my mom. Coach Franklin, Coach Barnes, they had like a little conversation, and then Coach Franklin came over, shook my hand, talked to me a little bit, said that he liked how I performed today. He liked my times and my measurements. And he said that I'm the type of guy they look for in the program. And then they offered me a scholarship with me and my family.
Yeah, so that last part you mentioned, you're the type of guy that they look for. What do you, in your own words, what do you feel makes you somebody that would fit with Penn State, and what would make Penn State a school that would fit what you're looking for at the next level?
Well, overall, Penn State is just a great school, whether it's football or whether it's academics. It's got one of the best schools, that you can go to in the country. That I believe, just academic wise, not even athletically, but then athletically, and then just meeting some of the players and meeting Coach Franklin and his coaches. I just think they're all like great people, and they all want the same thing. They all want to win, and they all have the same mindset. And when you have a team with the same mindset, it makes your goal so much more accomplishable. You have 120 guys willing to sacrifice everything for you, and you're willing to sacrifice everything for all 120 guys on the team. And that's just something that really like makes you just want to be a part of a team like that, because everyone's fighting for everyone. And when you have a program like that, they're bound to do something big. And I just like, for me personally, I love going out and like playing every game for my teammates. I love giving everything I have, to go out and win a game on a Friday or on a Saturday with my teammates. And maybe that's what Coach Franklin was talking about.
Yeah, so as far as specifically just you as an edge rusher and as a player, what have they said about the way you play?
He said that he liked my aggressiveness when I'm like destroying the block, and my explosiveness. Those are the two things that really stood out when Coach Barnes and Coach Franklin, took me aside to talk to me. They said they like the quickness, not only with my get off, with my hands and at the point of attack.
And obviously, you did work out. Weren't able to stay the whole time, but you did work out. What was your impression of how you were able to perform in that part of the weekend?
If I'm being quite honest, I felt like that was one of like I had a couple hiccups, but just that session, and not even like the session with Coach Barnes, but my 40 time, my broad jump, my shuttle run. I felt calm. I felt like, being able to go to the Lash Bash and meet all those coaches, it really helped calm my nerves, because when you go to a big school and you got to perform in front of, big time coaches, your nerves do get, they get going a little. So I was a little nervous, but by the time that I got to that workout, I think I was calm and I was just ready to do what I do.
What were some of the numbers you had, if you happen to have those off the top of your head?
Yeah. My 40 was a 4.65. My broad jump was a 9 foot and 2 inches. My 5.10.5 was a 4.44. And those are the 3 that we tested.
And are those numbers, is that pretty much line up with what you usually do when you do those exercises?
So I definitely do think for my 40, I think I think that was my time, because my first one was a 4.65, and then my second time was a 4.7 flat. And I actually went to a Rutgers camp the day before that, and I was running a 4.7, a 4.8, just literally the day before I went to Penn State. And usually my broad jumps around there. It's usually 9.2 to 8.11 is where I jump from the broad jump. And then my 5.10.5 shuttle, I'm a 4.4, 4.5. That's where I sit for those.
Right, good stuff.
Mhm.
So being a PA guy, did you grow up a Penn State fan, or like what was, I guess, your impressions of Penn State growing up in Pennsylvania? So
Yeah, me being born in Penn State, I love Penn State. Whether it's football, I watch their baseball games. You know what I mean? So I love Penn State. My parents went to UPenn, and it's not Penn State, but like it's in the state. So I've been to a lot of UPenn games. I've been out to a lot of Penn State games as well, and I love them. Had a poster in my room, Penn State, Michael Parsons. I have a teddy bear with the Penn
nice.
State hat. It's one of the schools I've been watching since I was a little kid.
And you mentioned you've gone to Beaver Stadium before. Are there any games you've gone to that have stuck out to you?
Um, we went to like we couldn't, we never could have gone. We never got the chance to go to any big games, but
Mhm.
all the games that we did go, I love the crowd. The crowd it's always hype. It's always loud, and and a lot of the games, it looks like they're dominating half the time. So like to be able to go to a school that's like that strong and like that can dominate offensively and defensively, it just kind of gets you excited. And then knowing you have a fan base that's out there every single game supporting you is also very exciting as well.
So when you found out that you had been offered, obviously any football player loves to get offered by a Big Ten
Mhm.
school, let alone one like Penn State. But you growing up following the program, what did that mean to you, and what were the emotions like when you found out?
When I got the offer, I was actually kind of shocked. You know, I didn't know whether I should like start jumping, getting excited. I don't know if I should have cried. So I was like, I just got hit with a bunch of emotions. So I was kind of just there, like my eyes a little teary, like shaking my head, like saying yes, coach, and like thank you and all of that. And it just meant a lot because ever since I was like maybe I like to say like fifth grade, sixth grade, like you always want to play for your in-state team because you always see them on the TV, like, oh, I want to be like those guys. So just being able to not only meet Coach Franklin, that was a great experience, with meeting Coach Barnes, and then actually receiving the offer to play for them. It was like it's kind of like having a lifelong goal, and you finally were able to like check it. That's what it was like for me.
Yeah, so obviously you have some pretty big time schools to choose from, and you have a lot of time to decide where you want to play with being a 26. But where do you kind of rank Penn State on your list right now?
It's definitely up there for sure. It's one of my favorites, top three. And if I had to say so, that's like a school I've been saying I wanted to go to since I was a kid. So definitely,
So,
definitely up there.
so what other schools are at the top of your list?
Um, there's there's a bunch of schools. And as I'm getting to go around, I loved my time at West Virginia, Rutgers, Michigan. What else? I had a great time at Pitt. I think those are some schools up there. Maryland, that was my first offer. Like those are like probably top of the list right now.
Yeah, so obviously we're getting towards the end of summer. You'll be starting fall camp pretty soon. Have you lined up any fall visits for games or anything like that?
Well, I already know one. Coach Barnes letting me know we're coming up for the whiteout game. Super excited for
Nice.
that one. And I think as of right now, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's like the only game that we know for sure that we've made time for to come up to this fall is the
Have
whiteout
you
game.
have you been to a whiteout before?
I have not been to a whiteout game, so I'm super excited.
Yeah. So, what's one fact about yourself, like fun fact that has absolutely nothing to do with football?
Um, I like Legos. I like building Legos. I like playing video games. I mean, that's what I do in my free time if I'm not playing football, to be honest. Yeah,
Nice. Think that's pretty good for me. If you have anything else to add on, feel free.
I'm all good.
Great. Well, Jackson, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.